years, like Young Frankenstein, that aren't really considered like the classic films of their time. But I mean, what Sasha did is really a remarkable achievement in every possible way. He completely reinvented the form. He did something as an actor that is, you know, just from being around actors, all of us look at it and say, well, I mean, it's both an improvisation and it seems real. And I watch that movie and I look at the very small moments and what he's doing, and I'm amazed at how good the acting is, and much better than a lot of people that get nominated for awards. So, but every once in a while, I mean, I think Little Miss Sunshine is a brilliant comedy, and I think Little Children has a lot of darkly comic aspects to it, so it's not like comedies are forgotten completely, but I got screwed.
I thought 40-Year-Old Virgin, that was the one that I was like, wow, really? They're not gonna, that's like, and even the Golden Globes like invented other criteria. That year they nominated Walk the Line, which as musical and comedy, and Pride and Prejudice. And that was the year I thought, I was like, what? Those aren't really comedies or musicals exactly.
So well, screwed 2 years in a row is what we're saying.
Well, let me ask Ron and Albert. You all have worked on a lot of great artistic films, and I kind of think probably the last thing on your mind when you were making Little Miss Sunshine was this is going to be our Best Picture nominee. And it is out of character, and it certainly is a comedy. We can talk a lot. I guess it has a lot of emotion in it and a lot of deeper stuff. But why do you think it managed to crack the barrier in ways that Judd's movie didn't?
Well, you know, in part, it's so hard to anticipate what the mood of the country or the zeitgeist or whatever. It seemed like that film was kind of blessed in that, you know, it started 6 years ago. It's just a script by Michael Arndt, who's obviously an excellent writer, but, you know, he'd worked on our film Election as Matthew Broderick's assistant. And, you know, at that time, I think maybe the film would have had a different reception, you know, 5 years ago had it been made. Certainly key to the whole thing are Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Ferris, who I think just brought a brilliant touch to scenes that, you know, were enhanced by the fact that they were directing them. And the actors, you know, we got lucky by waiting. Steve Carell wasn't on anyone's radar, and, you know, it just fit perfectly, and you know the casting all came together. That one, I think, is somehow in the public consciousness as an underdog discovery of, and it's true, it was made outside the studio system. And when people see it, they think they're seeing something that isn't homogenized or pasteurized through a big corporate machine, and that they take a joy in discovering that. And you know, obviously, that's very pleasurable for us too. And just in case, you know, I wish we had the total license that Judd does to be flippant, but you know,
because I have no chance of ever getting nominated. I can speak the truth.
You know, but because these are interesting days for us. But you know, to strain the metaphor, I mean, this is a film where everybody did push the bus, the 5 producers, and at different times, and I guess you could look at each other and say, how hard are you pushing? But eventually, you know, very happily, the bus was, you know, started, and it was great. And the only bottom line I have, you know, it's just weird that at one particular stop, not all of them certainly, but at this one particular Academy stop, you jump in, there's only 3 seats. So that was a disappointment. But everyone worked hard on that film, all 5 producers.
Yeah, and I would just add that maybe the Academy's success for Little Miss Sunshine has something to do with it, you know, it being in relief to what else is out there right now. And you know, certainly there's people like Alexander Payne, directors that are doing, you know, really great work with comedy that are being recognized by the Academy. But Little Miss Sunshine came along at a time when I think people wanted to embrace it very badly. So.
It also just kicks ass. It's just a great. I mean, I watched that movie, and you know, the movies that I like Hal Ashby movies and James Brooks and Cameron Crowe movies. I was just as a young filmmaker. I'm getting older now, but I can't say that as much. I'm 40 now, by the way. In my 40th year, I'm 39, but I like to say I'm in the 40th year because it depresses me more. But I think it's a brilliant movie. I also think that The Departed has a lot of humor in it, and Scorsese has been one of the funniest filmmakers for a very long time, and people, you know, the best movies have a little bit of each.
Okay, Scorsese. You know, I did a story on Irwin Winkler recently, and he
A lot more connected to the director and the crew and the cast than you might think producers do. It is very lonely oftentimes, but you know, there's a lot of pride in connecting all these people and helping them rally around a director's vision.
I think a lot that John said, also the gamble of the deal. You know, you never know what you have. You start with a screenplay, a tough one. You know, I financed most of Traffic, the film Traffic, and nobody wanted to do that film in Hollywood. You read that script, it's a tough script to read. It was a budget of around 50 million, so it wasn't a cheap film. And it's just seeing something, was sitting with Soderbergh for a few hours and actually a few days, and just hearing his passion and seeing something that a lot of people wouldn't see, and really going for it and taking that risk. And then obviously you on other films you try and hedge it by getting great filmmakers and great talent attached, but it's really the drive to make something that you're really proud of, that you show on the screen. I come from a very indie background where a lot of, you know, Van Damme movies were made, and kickboxing, and in the video days, and you'd sit there and you'd watch the first cut of a film, you just cringe, and you got to show this film to people. You can't hide a movie, and so it's a combination of everything, but really being driven by passion for me.
Yeah, I guess passion is the same thing for me. At every point in my career when I just thought this is just the worst possible thing I could have ever chosen to do because it's so difficult, I just thought, what else is there that I want to do? There's nothing I want to do this bad, so I just stuck it out.
Yeah, we always are looking for material that we feel connected with, and just really don't think about how, it'll play in the marketplace. It's just, what are we interested in, and who do we bring this material to that can, execute it. And I think that, many of our projects have been big leaps, and recently, for instance, on Little Miss Sunshine, the idea of going with John and Val, two newcomers, over a lot of more experienced people, that was a big leap, but it was, to our minds, the single most important decision made on that film, and they just brought it to life in a wonderful way, and, that was a leap of faith. So.
I really came of age, I guess, more in the 60s when, as incredible as it is to think now, being a filmmaker was seen as kind of a dilettantish, self-indulgent thing to do, and much more, worthy to work for social reform or transformation of American culture or something like that. But I had an unemployed, lonely life in Santa Cruz, and some of my political colleagues had just started to work in the film business doing kind of Hal Ashby type films. And I thought, if there's a way that you can do that, I was mainly interested in documentary, but if there's a way that you can have ideas that are either revelatory or liberating, but in an entertaining film, that'd be a wonderful thing to do. And I think that's still, what we seek to do.
I don't really have much to say. I just realized my children are here. And so I'm embarrassed for all the cursing I did today. I didn't realize they were here, and I'm just going to talk a lot because they like hearing me more than you guys. They like my voice. It makes them happy. Gives them comfort. I think that every, I think for me, every joke is a leap of faith. Because if it doesn't work, you're just stuck in your own humiliation at the failure of it. And so that's why, like, what Sasha does and what someone like Will Ferrell does, I mean, it's all a very brave act. It may just seem like running around a hotel naked, but it is a leap of faith. It's a very spiritual act, really, and it's important.
For me, I like to direct. Producing is hard. I have so much more respect for what producers do. I mostly took the leap that maybe it would be good to try